What is up, guys? It's your friendly neighborhood web war fanatic. Today we are going to be looking at the aggression support cards in the game and evaluating them. And a huge shout out to one of my subscribers, Songs55555, who gave me the idea for this type of video. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the first card here. So we have Assault Training. This is a 1-cost support, max 2 per deck, and it comes in with 2 training counters. As an alter ego action, we can exhaust this card and remove 1 training counter from it, then choose an aggression event in your discard pile and shuffle it into your deck. This card is cheap, being just a 1-cost support, but I don't think it's very good. I think there's just too many conditions for it, right? So first, it's an alter ego action, so you can only use it in alter ego. And then it only comes in with 2 training counters, so you have to remove 1 each time. And then you have to choose an aggression event, right? So most of the time, your strongest attack events are going to be your hero-specific cards because they're just stronger than aspect cards. And then it has to be an event, so you can't pick an aggression ally, you can't pick another aggression support or upgrade, it must be only an event. And then you get it from your discard pile and shuffle it into your deck. So you don't even get it back to your hand, it just goes into the deck and you may not draw it next. Yeah, I mean, it would definitely help out if your deck is milled out and you only have a few cards left. But yeah, I don't think this card is going to get much use. I'm going to put it in the C tier here. I don't think it's a very good card at all. But I think in a specific situation, it can be useful to help make your deck a little bit more consistent with getting aggression events, right? If you're playing like a deck with home technique and you have something like dive bomb and you only keep wanting to get those dive bombs over and over again, Assault Train will help you get that card back more consistently. But even then, you have to plan your turns around it and flip down to Alter Ego to really get the full benefit or to use it at all. But then you have to plan around the villain's scheming and have a way to mitigate that. So I think that Assault Training is not going to be the best card to use. But it goes in C tier because definitely there can be very few situations where it is good. There just aren't that many. Okay, so the next card we have here is Boot Camp. This is a 3-cost support, so a little bit expensive. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. Each ally you control gets +1 attack. So this card is very, very good. I think that this card is so good that it's one of the reasons why you want to play aggression, right? This card is an incentive to choose the aggression aspect so you can have this card in your deck. Giving every ally you control +1 attack, I think is invaluable at all stages of the game. Early game and mid game, it's going to help give you so much board control. Each ally having +1 attack makes them a lot more powerful and can help you defeat minions. And then for late game, it's great for helping you make that big final push at the villain because every ally gets +1 attack. And one really cool thing is that you can play under any player's control. So if you're playing multiplayer, you can give this to a leadership player and they're going to have insanely powerful allies and already easy way to get out allies because they're playing leadership. So yeah, I was a little bit surprised when I first saw Boot Camp that's not a leadership card because I mean each ally getting +1 attack is so good for leadership, but it makes sense why it's an aggression because it's being aggressive by just giving them +1 attack. So I think Boot Camp is a super duper card and it's going to go in the S tier here for me because oftentimes it's a reason why I'm playing aggression in the first place, and I think it's just a very strong, powerful card that's going to be good in almost every single situation. Okay, so next we have Hall of Heroes. This is a 2-cost support. Response after you defeat a minion, place 1 glory counter here. As an alter ego action, exhaust Hall of Heroes and remove 3 glory counters from it, then draw 3 cards. So one thing to note here is that there is no limit. You can have like 10, 20, 30 glory counters on here. And then you get a glory counter every single time you defeat a minion. So that can be in your hero form. You only need to be an alter ego for the second part of it, for the action here. So every time you defeat a minion, you just put a glory counter on here. And then I think it's a very powerful effect because whenever you're flipping down, let's say you're in hero form and you flip down in the middle of your turn, and then you can exhaust it to draw 3 cards if you can take out 3 glory counters, right? Then your next turn, you start the turn in alter ego, you can exhaust this card again and then draw another 3 cards. So that's a very, very powerful effect, giving you that massive card draw. But I'm going to put it, I don't think it's as good as Boot Camp. So I'm actually going to put it in the A tier here. And the reason why is because I think it's a little bit more situational, right? There has to be a lot of minions in play that you can constantly defeat for you to get all those glory counters and make this card good. You have to be able to flip down to alter ego and manage the threat while you're flipping down in order to get the full benefits out of it. And you have to be the one to defeat a minion. So not an ally, it has to be your hero, right? So you must play some sort of attack event or wherever your hero is the one that's dealing the damage to defeat a minion. The good thing is um, a lot of minion slayer type of heroes want to defeat minions themselves, so that really has synergy with that, and it will blend into that type of archetype. But I think that it's not as good as boot camp, just because in every scenario where you're not facing a lot of minions, Hall of Heroes is gonna have almost no use. And the reason why I really, when I'm evaluating cards, I really consider the every scenario as a huge factor is because I can always choose what deck I'm building and what hero that I'm playing with, but I can't always choose what scenario I'm facing, right? Like if our group says, oh, we want to play Thanos, then I gotta play Thanos, and if I have Hall of Heroes in the deck that I'm building, then it's not going to be very good against Thanos because he doesn't have a lot of minions. So I think it's important when evaluating cards to look at every single scenario, but it doesn't really matter as much looking at every single type of hero because you can always pick the hero. That's a variable that I feel like is more easy to control. And I'm not saying this is the correct way to evaluate cards or anything like that. It's just kind of my perspective and the way that I like to look at things. So yeah, I think definitely if you're playing a minion heavy scenario, Hall of Heroes can be even better than Boot Camp. It can be a super like S plus tier card, but because it's a little bit situational, I'm gonna put it here in the A tier. Okay, so next we have Tac Team. This is a 3-cost support, and this card came in the core set. It comes in with 3 attack counters on here, and as an action, you can exhaust Tac Team and remove 1 attack counter from it, then do 2 damage to an enemy. So one cool thing is that it's not a hero action, so you can use it in alter ego or hero form. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit too expensive for this type of effect. I'm thinking about like a 3-cost ally that has 2 attack. They can just come in and attack 3 times if they have 3 hit points and then get defeated. Tac Team count does the same thing as that. One nice thing is that this is not an attack action, right? So that means Tac Team will bypass stuff like retaliate because you're not attacking, and it'll bypass if your hero is stunned because your hero is not the one that's attacking. So I mean, there could definitely be uses for it to like ping off tough and stuff like that. But I think most of the time, because an ally can also be have the versatility to thwart if you need to thwart for that specific turn, or chump block if you need a blocker. I think allies are a little bit more or a lot more versatile than Tac Team is here. So I don't think Tac Team is very good at all. It's not gonna get that much use, so I'm gonna put it in the C tier here as well. I'm gonna put it above Assault Training because I think that, or Assault Training behind it, because I think that there are more uses for Tac Team. Um, but definitely its potential is not very high. Assault Training probably has a higher potential, but a lower floor as well, right? Tac Team, I mean, it's most of the time going to find some use, but in order to maximize its full benefits, right, you want to be in a situation where you constantly need that attack of 3 turns straight, and you don't necessarily need that thwarting or that chump block from an ally, right? Or else an ally would just sure be better than Tac Team. So I think in the correct situation, if you're stunned, you need to avoid retaliate, you need to ping up a tough from someone that has retaliate or anything like that. The Tac Team may come in handy, but being 3 cost for that type of effect is not good enough to bump it up to the B tier. One cool thing is that it is a shield card, right? So it has a shield trait. So if you are playing a shield deck, Tac Team is a good card for you to exhaust for a lot of the other shield effects. Unfortunately, right now, shield doesn't have that many aggression type cards. So I think Tac Team would be best in a shield deck if you're playing like Spider Woman or Adam Warlock, where they can put multiple aspects in their deck, because most of the better shield cards are going to be justice or leadership. So you want to pair all that together with Tac Team, and with just aggression, you're not going to get too much benefit with the shield trait here. Okay, so lastly, our final support card in aggression is War Room. This is a 1-cost support, so super cheap. Max 1 per player. As a response, after an ally attacks you and defeats a minion, exhaust War Room and remove 1 threat from the scheme. So this is not a very good card, especially for aggression. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of aggression cards want your hero to be the one to defeat a minion, or not necessarily aggression cards, but a lot of heroes that have their kits revolved around defeating minions, they want to be the one to defeat the minion to get the full effects. Like Hall of Heroes here as well revolves around you defeating a minion, right? So if your ally defeats it, like in War Room here, you might get that 1 threat off a scheme, but then you won't get that glory counter to help you draw 3 cards eventually. So I think that War Room has a little bit of an anti-synergy with a lot of cards that want to defeat minions. And I mean, removing 1 threat from the scheme, that is not that valuable of an effect to have this condition of where an ally needs to defeat a minion. And having ally defeat a minion is a little bit situational as well, because once again, you also still need to play a scenario with a lot of minions. And then if you're doing that, you usually want to be using the other cards where your hero defeats it, but War Room makes it so that you need your allies to defeat it. So I'm going to put War Room in the D tier here. I don't think it's a very good effect at all, and the conditions to trigger it are not very good either. So yeah, this is my aggression support card tier list, and there's only 5 cards that are aggression supports in the game currently, and it has a little bit of a weird lineup here, right? I think these are not very good, and these two I think are very good, but I don't have anything in the B tier here. But yeah, that's kind of how they line up for me. Let me know what you guys think, if you agree or disagree, and please let me know if you guys like this type of video. If you guys like me making tier lists for, aspects in their upgrades and supports and just card types. If you guys don't like the type of video, this would probably be the last one that you see. But if you guys do like it, please let me know in the comments, and I will definitely make more for different aspects and different card types. I will see you guys in the next one.